Greetings, and welcome to the Wonders Hour, where you'll be entertained, enlightened, and guided to new realizations about yourself and the world that surrounds you. Any subject can be explored, any question asked. Now let's meet your hosts, Rene Gadet and his wife Maggie, who together bring you the wonders. Greetings, everyone.
Greetings, everyone. Well, my love, for our listeners, could you explain a little bit about who the Wonders are?
Well, the wonders are a collective consciousness. They say that if we think of all reality as 32 dimensions, God, Goddess, the all that is, would be on the 32nd, mankind would be on the 3rd, and they would be on the 29th. So we see them as just a very high, loving, expanded consciousness. They've said they've come through this time in humanity's history to try to help us empower ourselves. And we've seen that with all the workshops and study groups and sessions we've done, haven't we, babe?
We sure have.
So, I guess once again, I have to get out of the way, right?
You do, just for a while.
Yeah. Just before the show, though, I was really feeling tired. In fact, I was yawning a lot. You're lucky you didn't come into the show with me being already channeling.
I know. Well, at one time I looked over. I thought you were on your way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Doesn't take much.
No, it
I
sure
lie
doesn't.
back in my chair, and the next thing I know, I am gone. I'm out of here. It's
Yeah.
almost automatic now, isn't it?
Oh, it is. And you have to take that breath, really, for me, don't you?
Yeah, but the thing is that it's also it's what it does is it signals you that I'm going. That's the main thing. But at the same time, it's like I said, as soon as I lie back in my chair, I'm ready to go. I'm out of here. I'm gone. So
Yeah.
I have to be careful to make sure that I force myself to stay conscious. Otherwise, I would be gone and out of here.
For sure.
And then, of course, it would be just what everybody else would know. Oh, well,
Yeah.
there you go. I'm going.
Please envelop this entity so completely in love that all needs, wants, and desires are chosen.
And greetings.
Greetings, Wonders.
Greetings, Maggie.
Would you please go to whom, to where, and to when you are directed? Would you please locate your facilitator, Maggie McGoffin Gadet, on September 17th, 2006?
Yes, we have you.
We are gathered here at 8361 11th Line, our number 2 in the town of Thornton in the province of Ontario, to do a reading for the Wonders Hour radio show. May we begin?
Please.
Thank you, Wonders. We've been talking a little bit, just before actually you came in, Wonders, about forgiveness and guilt. And
Good for you. Interesting subjects, aren't they?
very interesting. We were wondering, could we talk about that for a while?
Absolutely. Go ahead and talk.
Okay. Well, I wonder, how do people forgive themselves? And how is guilt involved and judgment? And
First, the how-to is quite easy. It's choose, isn't it?
yes.
But that's not the real question you wanted to ask, was it?
No. I wanted to know what forgiveness was, actually, or is.
For most people, the concept of forgiveness is something they can never achieve. It is something so simple. It occurs when you appreciate who you are. When you appreciate something, then you realize what's to forgive. Because forgiveness, if you think of it from one perspective, it's giving something for, isn't it?
What do you mean, Wonders?
Forgive.
Oh,
Give for.
I see. Yeah.
Do you see?
Mm-hmm.
But if you think about it, what it is just a concept that has been created by humankind to justify holding on to the anger, the fear, the judgment, the guilt that they have surrounding certain circumstances. So they say to themselves, what's there to give for? Do you see?
Mm-hmm.
And so the resultant is that forgiveness never comes. But if you appreciate something, if you look at something and all you can see is the appreciation of what it is, the faults, the the benefits, the talents, the abilities, the limitations, the lack, the fears, the judgments, the love, the appreciation, everything. If you look at it all, and then all you can see is all of that. You're appreciating it all then, aren't you?
Mm-hmm.
Then what is there to forgive? What is there missing in that you have to give? Do you think?
Mm-hmm.
There isn't then, is there?
No.
And if you aren't missing anything in the observation, then there isn't anything to give or forgive. Do you see?
Mm-hmm.
It's not that you would not look at someone and say, this action has its limits. This action creates self-harm. But what's to forgive? Do they?
Yes.
They realize here that most individuals in humanity, they look at forgiveness as something they have to give to somebody else. When in truth, it's all about themselves. Because really, when someone harms you, can they really harm you? Or is it that you've chosen to harm yourself? And if you've chosen to harm yourself, what you're doing is judging yourself for having harmed yourself, and you're finding it very difficult then to give love to yourself, don't you?
Yes.
And when you do that, that's when you're looking for forgiveness. You want the other person to forgive. You want to be able to forgive the other person, or you want the other person to ask for forgiveness. But ultimately, what you're saying to yourself is that, hey, maybe I should just give myself a little love. Do you see?
Mm-hmm.
And that's what's missing.
Yes. Wonders if a person does something that they just say something to someone else that really harms that person, how can you appreciate that? Or
how can they do something to someone else that really harms that person?
let me think of an example. Suppose someone raises their children and they neglect the children, and the children have a lot of things in their life that are harmful to them because they didn't get very good parenting or something like that.
Yes.
How does the parent forgive themselves when they look at their children and say, I neglected you, I wasn't there, I couldn't help you?
They made a choice. They made the choice. As a parent, they made a choice to do that. What's to forgive? It was their choice. This may sound callous from your perspective, but in truth, it is their choice, isn't it?
It is.
They made the choice to create an environment where harm could be inflicted on the child. Good for them. It was their choice. So then, instead of looking to forgive themselves, why not realize I made that choice then? The circumstances are different now. I choose differently now.
Mm-hmm.
Do you see?
Yes.
And then that way you're not staying in the past, are you?
Exactly.
You're into the present at that point.
All right.
Otherwise, forgiveness is always about the past, isn't it?
It is.
And the anticipation of a possible future.
Yes.
But think about it another way. Think about it on the concept of free will and free choice. There you are. You're a parent. And you have desire to harm your child. You don't feed them. You don't clothe them. You beat them. You malnourish them, etc., etc., etc. Now, you've made that choice, haven't you?
Mm-hmm.
That's your choice. And you can see, as a reasoning adult now in your society, you could say to yourself, of course I can understand that. This is an adult. They made a reasoned choice. And in the reasoned choice, therefore, made a choice that reflected what they wanted to do. True?
Mm-hmm.
But what about the child? The infant? The difficulty with that, with you, is that when you look at them, you say they haven't got the ability to reason themselves out of that circumstance. So you look at them and you say you're too young to reason, you're too unaware, you're an infant, you're a child, not capable of making a different choices. Your life circumstances are not there to allow you to make a different choice. Would you agree with that statement?
Yes.
So then you judge that, don't you?
Yeah, for sure.
And when you judge that, what are you really judging? Are you judging the child, the parent, or are you judging what you perceive to be the child's inability to choose freely? And if you're judging the ability to choose freely, let's assume that you answered that question for a moment.
Okay.
Let's say that you judge the child's ability to choose freely. You're saying they really don't have the ability to choose freely. They're too young. They don't have the ability to reason. They don't have the mind yet, the physical body to be able to move away, etc., etc., etc. Then you're not looking deep enough, are you?
Right.
Because, you see, dear friend, you're only looking at the incarnated ego personality then.